Hi there, I'm Joseph Kern, Instructional Designer at Emporia State University. This is a tutorial on how to use this program, Timetoast, to make interactive timelines for you and your students. It's a really good program if you want to have some way for students to interact with your content. It's a good way to get them to link to your Blackboard course, or it's a good way to have your Blackboard course link to this information. It's also really good for student projects or even to make study guides, so they can take the information from their notes, put it into this format, add in their own resources, and really get a lot out of it. The program is at timetoast.com, and the front page always has some examples of ones you can look at. So this one's about the Olympics, and there are things like you can zoom in on a particular time period. If you click on the information, they have pictures, they have text, so just delivering some content, and we're going to see how we can do a little bit better than that, just going beyond text. But to start, you'll just hit sign up, and you sign up. It's pretty simple, and then you're in. So when you sign in, at the top you'll be able to see your account and your timelines, and so you can always see your timelines by clicking on your timelines, and you'll just be able to start by adding a new timeline. You can choose an image and upload it. Once they're uploaded, they'll live in your account, and so you can always click on them later if that's what you want as your image. So if you want to add a logo as always the start of yours, then you can do that. And just to show you, like I said, some of the interactivity you can put into these, when you click on one of these, this is one just playing around. I made one about how to build garage shelves, because I built some garage shelves. Now when you're viewing these, you have two options too, which is kind of nice. You can go to a text view, which just lists it all out, and this is the title of each item, this is what's written inside of it, or you have the timeline view. So here I have the basic steps, but the extra stuff that you're able to put in and your students are able to find and put in if they're doing a project are extra links, because if this whole thing's online, you might as well use the internet to make it better. So in this part, I'm explaining how you use a level to make sure these are all lined up. But what if somebody doesn't know how to use a level? So here we have a video that it will link to show them how to use a level. On this one, yeah, you have a garage, but now what? Let's make sure we include some safety. So it links to a web page about safety. It's a really good tool if you want to provide extra information for students to extend what you're covering. It's not required material, but they'll benefit from it. And so you're able to add on all these extra little things to hopefully increase their interest. Now, using this with your Blackboard course, you can do a couple of ways. Here's an example where we have it set up where this could be your semester. So this is Unit 1 or Event 1, Unit 2 in September, and so you can set up your whole course like this. They'll go here and, alright, this happened, we're learning about removing tree trunks, apparently. And by clicking that link, they're able to go to the Blackboard page. Now, I was already logged into Blackboard. You would have to log in. It would take you to the login page, but then it would take you here, so the students can see, like, oh, I need to learn about how to remove stumps. So it's a good way to organize it. You don't even have to go through Blackboard if you don't use Blackboard, but you're able to go to a place where they can see the things they have to learn that week. Now, to edit the events, if you're not already in editing mode, you tell it to edit the timeline, and you can add an event. It looks really similar to when we looked at adding a timeline. You can choose an image. We'll give it a title, pick a date, and we want it to link to the Blackboard page we had earlier. So let's go to Blackboard, and we want this to link to Event 4. So we'll right click on Event 4, we'll copy that address, and we can't just paste it in there, we have to insert it as a hyperlink. So the link text is what's the blue underlined thing. So we want it to say, click here. And let's paste our link. And there we go. Now all of this jumbled stuff, that's the code telling it where to go. But maybe you want to say to look at event number 4, click here. So there's the address. If we say to look at event 4, click here, then we need to make that a lowercase c. So you can find in here the text and you can edit it. There's no November 31st. There we go. That's tricky. Alright, now event 4 has been added. Let's view the timeline. And event 4. Yay, that works. So we can learn how to saw logs in a classroom. So how do students get that information? How do they know this timeline is here? Well, you can tag it. Tagging it is what they would search for. So if I were you, I would tag this with the title, the numbers of my class. So I'd say XY 174. And maybe title it, tag it with your name, tag it with the topic. So if it's something you think everybody in the world would benefit from, tag it with that. And so when they search, it will find it easily. The other option is, if you look here, you have a direct link underneath the embedded share. So you can email this link out to your students and they're able to get it from there. We also have the embed code, and I'll show you in a second how you can use that. So this was how to link Timetoast into Blackboard, into whatever resources you want. But let's look at how to go from Blackboard to our Timetoast. I want to put some content into Blackboard. I want to put a link to the Timetoast timeline so that way the students can see it. At Embed Share, I can copy the link, go to Blackboard, and I'm going to I'll put it as a URL. That's the simplest way to do a web page. Just call it timeline. Let's paste our link. We can put a description in there. You can choose whether to open it in a new window or this window. If things are outside of Blackboard, I like to open them in a new window so it doesn't disrupt Blackboard. And so they look at it, they see there's a link, they can click on it. Yay, timeline. Now the other option is even cooler, and this is the one I would recommend. It's going to jump out at students a lot more. It's to embed the timeline into your Blackboard content. So they have the embed code. You right click and copy, and you can change a little bit of this here, but I'll let you play around with that. And we're going to put an item in, and we're going to call it timeline again. And if you paste that code, that's all the students will see. They won't actually see anything neat. So that's not what you do with it. You go to here where it says toggle HTML source code. You click on that, and now you can paste in that code. Now this is really the only things I would know to play around with, the height and the width. So if you think it's not the right size, you can go in and easily change the height, the width. You have to change them down here too. And other than that, you can just kind of play around. Now we hit submit. And instead of just a boring link, this actually pops up. So it's one less step for your students to go through to actually engage in the information. So that makes it a lot more likely that they will do it. And in this, they just click on each item and they're able to follow along with it. Now hopefully you can see the potential as far as what you can deliver to students. You can give them web pages, you can give them videos or images or other information about the content that you couldn't put on there otherwise. You can use this in a live classroom to help navigate and make your presentations a little bit more exciting. And you can have students work on these as study guides to take the information, find extra resources to back up their knowledge a little bit, or a really good way to deliver projects. So if you use this to do something cool for your class, I'd like to know about it. So email me the link, or if you have any questions, jkern@emporia.edu. And in the meantime, have a good time time toasting.